Hi, welcome. Today we're going to talk about one of the greatest chess games played ever. So we are talking about the game between Paul Morphy and Duke of Brunswick and Count Isoard, the great opera's game. So first, we will talk a little bit about Paul Morphy, then we will analyze the game, and in the end of this video, we will talk a little bit about his legacy and this game legacy too. So let's jump for our video. So, talking about Paul Morphy, who was Paul Morphy? Paul Morphy was a chess genius, and he was American. So Paul Morphy started with about 12 years old. He started competing with this age, and he was quite a strong player. So just to have one idea, with 19 years old, he already finished his degree, his lawyer's degree. And okay, he was competing, and it wasn't permitted to work on this degree with this age. So what will he do? He will compete and he will win all of the greatest chess players on those days. So between his 17 years old and 21 years old, Morphy was unstoppable, and he traveled all around the world. He won everyone. He made matches with great players as Adolf Anderson, and when he was traveling to Europe, at France, he will play at Opera's House. Opera's House was at Paris, and was an emblematic place, the center of the world's culture. Was this big, this place? So let's see. I have here a photo just to show, just you to have an idea. And Paul Morphy has been invited to play at this place during an event, an opera, and well, it's a tragedy for Duke Karl and Count Isoard, because they have been immortalized as losers. But okay, but no, that's not their fault. Paul Morphy was that good. He was very, very, very good. We're talking about my favorite player, and he is and was the favorite player of some of the greatest chess players of all time. But we will talk at the end of this video about that. So, well, this about Paul Morphy. Let's jump to our game. So I have here the photos. So Paul Morphy, well, they have one thing in common: the hairstyle. Great hairstyle. Paul Morphy is the first, and at the other side, this is a photo, not a painting of Duke of Brunswick, because I haven't found any photo or painting of Count Isoard de Vonenagues. Sorry, this is French. I'm not good at French. And this game has played at 1858. So let's jump to our game. Are you prepared? I'm not prepared. This is a very wonderful game. So, with white, we have Paul Morphy, and with black, we have two players, Duke of Brunswick and Count Isoard. So the idea is that Count Isoard is helping Duke of Brunswick. Well, about Morphy is American, about Duke of Brunswick is German, I think. I've made my search, and I think he was German. So this game started with e4, and after e5, Paul Morphy will continue with knight f3. No, a normal move. Here, black has played d6. Well, d6 is named the Philidor defense. So it's not very common nowadays because normally most of the greatest and best players play knight c6. So after d6, Morphy will make the most aggressive move. So he will play d4. So d4 normally on now sorry now normally everyone takes the pawn, but well, Duke of Brunswick and Count Isouard has decided to play bishop g4. So this game is interesting because black will fail with the development of the pieces and control of the center. And Paul Morphy was a tactical genius. So he was a tactical genius and probably one of the best attacking players ever. Yeah, I'm comparing Paul Morphy to Mikhail Tal, you know, Kasparov too. The difference is, of course, he lived earlier, so his technique isn't the same, but tactically he was a monster. So here Paul Morphy will continue with a simple idea but very effective. So pawn takes pawn, and the idea is that if black plays, I can take the queen and win a pawn. So this is good for white. So black needs to do something. Nowadays, the computers say that knight d7 is probably the best move, because after that pawn takes, bishop takes, and for example h3. The idea is that okay, white is winning by one pawn, but black has development because I already have outside 3 minor pieces and white just have 1. So okay, black has compensation for the pawn, so probably this position is equal. But the problem is that on those days, well, the opening theory wasn't nothing like what he have nowadays, and of course computers, what is that? So black has played bishop takes knight, and of course white has continued with queen takes. Here black is happy to play pawn takes pawn, but the problem is that Paul Morphy has quite direct ideas. So if you want, you can think a little bit, you can put the video on pause and think, how can we threaten checkmate in one move? It's quite simple. Bishop c4. So when I play bishop c4, this is very strong, this move, because black is underdeveloped, because I already in this position have my queen at the pawn, and I will develop my bishop, and black just has one pawn. So after bishop c4, I'm threatening the f7 square because the queen and the bishop is attacking this square. So he needs to protect this square. So here, probably the only possible move is queen f6, because the idea is to try to exchange the queens and, well, pray for this to be equal. But they played knight f6, and knight f6 loses at least one pawn, because an interesting idea, it's a double attack. So here Bobby Fischer, no, not Bobby Fischer, but you were thinking about him. And I will talk about Bobby Fischer in the end of this video. Paul Morphy, yeah, they have one thing in common. Both players believe that if you help your pieces will help you. It's below this. So what is the best idea for white? Yeah, have you seen Queen b3? Queen b3, it's very powerful. I've already won one classical game because of this idea, the Opera's game idea. And my opponent was a strong player, an international master. So this game, it's great to improve and great to see tactical patterns and evolve your vision. So what is the idea? The idea is that I'm threatening to take on f7, and at the same time I'm attacking the b7 square. So this continued with queen e7. It's probably the only move because the idea, the black's idea, it's interesting. So they are thinking that after queen takes b7, queen check. Of course, white is better, but they will exchange the queen and the game will be easier for black. Lost but easier. So queen takes, bishop takes, and for example, bishop on d2. Yeah, c3 it's possible too. So I think one of these moves results. So works. Sorry. So bishop takes, knight takes, king, and okay, we have a game, but white is winning by one pawn. So the idea is that. But well, Paul Morphy will see this idea and will play knight c3. So he doesn't want to exchange the queen. So the idea here is that if black plays queen to b4, the bishop can take on f7. And well, I'm winning by one pawn, but the truth is that this is more aggressive and more violent than the other variation, because I have queen e6 and this king is completely unprotected. So here black has played c6, and after bishop d5 the idea is to pin the knight, and now he needs to be careful because the knight is pinned. So if he puts the queen at c7, I just take and he cannot castle kingside, for example. It's very dangerous, at least. So here black has played a dubious move. So this is almost a blunder, because the problem is that the black's players aren't developing well, because black doesn't has the center. I have a problem developing the bishop on f8, and I'm not sure where to put the knight, because knight e7 now looks ugly and slow. So here, well, Paul Morphy will see a very powerful idea, and yeah, this is the best idea. So Paul Morphy will sack his knight. Knight takes b. So I think as here you can take with the bishop or you can take with the knight. But if you take with the bishop, it doesn't make any sense, because the bishops are attacking players and the pieces, and the knights are defensive pieces normally. So I want to sack my defensive piece, because at the end I will be giving check to the king. So this check will force my opponent to play the knight. Of course, if the king goes here, I castle longside. So here they played knight d7, and of course Paul Morphy will castle long. So this game, it's already at the end. So after the castle, black will try to protect with one more piece the knight on d7. And well, Paul Morphy will play here a fantastic, beautiful move. It's like art, you know. If you love chess, you need to love this game because this is art. Rook takes knight. Wow. What's happening right now? Well, the problem is that black is underdeveloped. All the pieces are without flexibility. So if you want to know more about the development and the control of the center, you can always click there. I already have a video about these themes. So after rook takes, of course, if queen takes, bishop takes. So if knight takes, bishop takes queen. So that's not pretty. So black needs to play rook takes. And now we have rook d1. The problem is that the rook is pinned. And now I'm attacking with two pieces. So this is very complicated right now. This is a completely won position for white. So black has played queen to e6. And now Paul Morphy will see a very aggressive move that will finish this game in a few moves. So he will give checkmate. And I will give you an hint. So you want to finish with this game with back rank mate. So of course I will not wait because of the length of the video, but you can put on the pause and don't forget to push the like button, okay? Push the like button, comment, because I need help to improve the algorithm of YouTube and to continue producing this kind of content. So help me help you. So let's continue. Here, Paul Morphy has played bishop takes rook. And after knight takes, the game will finish with queen b8. Whoa. What is that? This is the end of the game. The game continued with knight takes queen and rook checkmate. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So just to have one idea, I've analyzed this game with some of the most powerful engines. So I'm talking about Lila, I'm talking about Stockfish. And well, I reviewed with chess.com too, and chess.com makes an evaluation between 0 and 100%. And Morphy has played with 99% precision. About Duke of Brunswick and Count Isoard, they played with 71%. So 99%, it's genius. It's very, very, very strong. So we've already talked a little bit about Paul Morphy, his career, his retirement. When Morphy has retired? Well, it's a shame, but Morphy with just 22 years old has retired from chess. So it's a shame because we've lost probably hundreds of genius games that he could play. But the truth is that he has done history. He is a legend. And the chess at USA has developed a lot on those days. This game is one of the most reviewed at chess literature. Sorry, a complicated word to say in English. At chess books, easier. And well, Paul Morphy is seen as one of the greatest chess players ever. So, talking a little bit about Paul Morphy. Paul Morphy was the favorite player of Bobby Fischer. Bobby Fischer had a quite similar history, but well, we will talk about that on another day. So let's resume what we talked about today. So we talked a little bit about the history of the operas game. Then we talked about Paul Morphy. We've seen the opera's house, the setting, the place where the game has been played. Then we analyzed the game, and well, this game has some key moves and tactics. It's beautiful. At the tactical game is beautiful of Paul Morphy. So Queen B8 is something, wow, fantastic. We've seen the double attack with Bishop C4 and Queen B3. It's very, very, very strong. And of course, the Queen sacrifices will win with back rank mate. So after we talked a little bit about the impact, the Morphy's legacy. So one of his admirers was Bobby Fischer. And Bobby Fischer, for many persons and players, was probably the best chess player ever. So yeah, the truth is that Morphy and Fischer are my favorite players, because I'm a tactical player too, not this level, but yeah, I like to play dynamic. So his influence on chess strategy and tactics was very big, and this helped the popularization in chess books, because I don't know how to say this word. So chess careers has finished at 22 years old, and of course we here in this channel, of course, we will analyze more games of Paul Morphy. So about his influence, Bobby Fischer, again, and not only Bobby Fischer. For example, Fischer has told on an interview that Paul Morphy was the most precise player ever. But for example, if you have opportunity to ask Carlsen will say the same. Paul Morphy was a genius. He was very, very strong. And Kasparov will say the same. He was a genius. And he has converted the chess games in art. So this has helped the evolution of the chess at USA. And it's a shame he has finished his career, has terminated, has retired with just 22 years old. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. So it's our first Paul Morphy video, and don't forget to like if you have seen some value here, and of course, if you have suggestions, and if you want to talk with me, you can always talk with me at chess.com. My nick is Dark Attack, and if you comment below here, you will be helping, and of course, like, commentate, or comment, I never know, and subscribe, of course, and you will be helping us to help you. So have a good night, and till tomorrow. Bye bye.